as open-ended yet as I'd like it to be. It doesn't have some of the features that I'd like it to have. Okay, so this is Elosia, or which I called the map, but it's the Tliazil station. Tliazil. And this is the medical room. It's supposed to be a self-contained zone, and then there's also like maintenance halls down here for whatever reasons. In this case, it's kind of unavoidable about the lighting because I didn't ever build the lighting. I did make these nifty sort of passageways here. They do have some uniqueness to them. This is supposed to have a gravity generator in here. I guess I never actually put it in. But yeah, this is basically supposed to have an accessible gravity generator situated on top of that. And then these hallways should have their own self-sustained gravity in a contained space. Then they are supposed to connect up to different parts of the station. And these little hallways, these hallways have like some armoring and things like that. This over here is going to be our the power the power station. Over here was going to be the refinery. This particular thing was going to hook up to the refinery, factory, and assembly and stuff like that. This one over here connects up to what is the hangar and control tower. Obviously, there are some things that could have been done to improve certain things. Like, I forgot to add residential or other functions. Excuse me. This is supposed to be a hookup for spaceships, so you can like build a spaceship and have it be able to hook up to this kind of thing inside the hangar, and then that can refuel and repair, or not repair, but refuel and rearm. That's the word. Yeah, I was looking for. Down here we got another maintenance shaft area. And it has like 3 access points that you can whoa. The area is also not completely covered with gravity either. This is an incomplete project, as it said on. I think it said on the thing. On the thingy, it said thing. Oh, actually, I think that's where the gravity generator was supposed to go. I don't recall exactly. I never did install it though, so clearly. Anyway, here's the main hangar for a large vessel that might be like equivalent to the Ivan frigate. That'd be kind of nice to put in there. And this could be like a small vessel and another small vessel. I tried to build these windows to have like armor plating on them, basically. So I used the window block, and then I used actual windows behind them to give them a sealed, ceiling, so they got like, you know, oxygen barrier. Unfortunately, something to do with designing the doors would need to be done, so they'd actually have, you know, air barriers. Or you could just have, like, imagine force fields cover the entrances. That's something else that'd be kind of plausible. So there's actually a grand total of four hangars here, and you could technically probably fit about 2 ships in each hangar, and many in the large hangar, or 1 large one, or maybe a few large ones depending on their size variance. Oh right, there's also the command room that you go up here to get to. And yeah, this is the command room. It's yeah, that's pretty much it. It is what you see. It's just a whole bunch of seats and a command chair for the captain, and lots of armored up visual. I said it 3 times. It's not enough, apparently. The armored windows And there's also the control towers and stuff. So yeah, this is an incomplete project as well. I sometimes get way too caught up in details, and I like to try and make things look cool before I actually finish the project at all. I really need to try and build the layout first before I actually start doing anything with it in many regards. Oh well. It's thoughts for the future, I guess. Alright, so next thing, again, we got, well, this I've already shown a video for, but I didn't actually talk about it, so I'll just drop in real quick on it. Something I plan on doing something with in the future, in fact, actually, if I can ever get my butt off of the script and get things together and start doing it. Of course, I do need to do some work on voice alteration before I'm happy with it. The music is kind of loud. Oh, it is what it is. Come on, hurry up. I want to get in there so I can take a look at it. Thank you. Okay, so it's supposed to have a different kind of background. I apparently didn't set that up. But, on the other hand, we got this ship here. I forgot about me building this ship here. But anyway, this is Amarak Station, or at least an imitation design to some degree that I spent a while building for just because I wanted to sort of imitate the well, I wanted to imitate the space station from Buried in Time. It's a game that probably nobody remembers anymore, but it was a cool station that I liked, and I wanted to try and imitate it. So I built my imitation. There's these large solar arrays that I built to try and emulate sun capture as much as possible, and they're pretty dang good, honestly. As these are all just set up so that they will get the most possible from the sun, their array, which is kind of good and cool. And I did run around in the Amarak Station video to display some of the things. I made these spinny things because they just look kind of cool, and the lights spinning around also look kind of neat. Then we've got this is supposed to be the this particular room here that's barely, you know what, I'm just gonna head inside. Open up. Hey, let me in. Let me in, mate. I need to go take a look at the things. Okay? There. There. And there. Yeah, these are all shut. Good. Some of the areas have gravity, some don't, because it wasn't originally supposed to have gravity at all for the station. I just put it there to make things easier while building it. This room here, because you can see with the yellow lighting, maybe, but this room was supposed to be hydroponics, basically. Just a bunch of hydroponic stuff, and so it'd be easy to, well, keep alive some plants in there. Those are supposed to be like sun lamps, basically. Imitation sun lamps. Okay. That's outside. Should I go this way? Yeah, this way's fine. It's only a quick look anyway. And this is the refinery and factory. There's 4 refineries here. Actually, not factory, but it's the refinery station for refining materials. And it's got like some gravity here and 2 hookups on the zone. There's also this thing I made. This thing. I tried to hook up a giant drill to a piston, and I wanted it to be able to like latch to a wall. So I'd stick it to a wall, set it up, and then it could punch holes mining into the terrain for a resource. In the end, I'd say it is one of the most crazy and unstable vehicles I have ever made. Yeah, that's a thing. Anyway, moving right along. Let's charge down here real quick. Oh wait, I think I passed something. No? No, okay, I didn't. Okay, zoom down here and this way. Over here is the actual factory or assembly room. It's got a nice big cargo container accessible there, and yeah, it's not particularly amazing. Just to get a look at it, it's outside. There it is. It's just a little kind of hook design thing here. I was originally considering building some sort of like link up on the back here where it would have a huge grinder interface for shoving spacecraft into for refining, but then I figured, you know, that probably would be I mean, it would be something I'd do in the base game because it's useful for grinding down cargo ships, but realistically I don't think the station would normally have that. So I was like, yeah, no thanks, I'm good. So, moving right along. This is a hookup platform. These platforms have like a latch point here, and it was basically supposed to be set up so that you could hook up to the station, and then on top of that you'd have your access point where you could then travel across the catwalk into the station, which I felt would be kind of neat and meaningful and stuff. Also, these rooms here with all these doors are supposed to be airlocks, basically. So, just figured I'd mention that. Moving right along, we've got the antenna control center station thing. This particular part of the station is supposed to be one big, well, communications array. Got 4 beacons and like 8 antennas. So it's got lots of communications gear and such like stuff like that. That's pretty much all that was about. You can get another look at it from another part of the station. Some of the visuals around here when you're running around is kind of cool. For example, if we run down here, I think we might be able to get a view of the station. This is supposed to be like an airlock section of the station for the living quarters, which are over here. Which I really kind of like how I set up the living quarters. They really do look kind of neat. I mean, there's the odd thing is that I set up this kind of thing like this, so you can kind of get up and look outside through the metal grates, and there's glass there on the outside. Yeah, the outside. That's not exactly a smart design. Some visuals. It's hard to actually see through the grates and. Huh. I'm just looking at this piece of work there, and I'm like, what? Why did I do that? I recall that the living quarters here, I just plopped stuff around just to make it look like it had something in there, more than anything. When I was in the vanilla. No. Back up here. Okay. And here is where Arthur would be, or at least Arthur in the game. So you go up here and you're like looking around like, what the heck is this? And why is there a chair here? Oh, it's so bright! And so Arthur, the AI computer for the station, would be built into the ceiling here, separated between you, this glass separating between you and him. And effectively, you can't get up here. Arthur here is supposed to be a yeah, Arthur was a cool AI I felt in the original game, and I really kind of wanted to make something that was somewhat similar, I guess. And like I said, I plan on doing something with this station in terms of future videos, but I'm not sure how exactly I want to go about doing it yet. It's just something I just figured I'd point out. You might see it again, is my point of clarity here. Okay, moving along. Speed it up. Let's get through here. We got so many other things to take a look at. Down here, we've got the medical bay, I believe. Right? That's what this is? No, this is the science facility. Aha, now here's some really good visuals. I mean, look at this. This containing room is just like it looks really high tech and stuff. And there's the communications tower there, and that looks pretty neat. We've got the solar arrays kind of just sticking out of the facility there. Some more interesting views down there. There's the there's the living quarters, and there's the computer station over there. Central core, I guess. And then up here we've got no crashing into things so much. It's going too fast. And through here we've got the medical bay. Yeah, this is the medical bay. It's nothing much. Looks neat. Not much to really comment about. Yeah. So yeah, this down here, as I was just briefly said for a moment, this is the science room. It's basically supposed to be just filled with science gadgets and widgets and all kinds of things like that. So it'd be kind of neat and things. Maybe. Maybe it won't be all that interesting. I don't know. Right now it's just like a big empty room because there's not really that much in the way of sciencey widgets to fill it with. Okay, moving right along, we've got another airlock point hookup here. And then we've got the final room on the station yet to be shown this episode is the main reactor. We've got like a gyroscope on all these points, and then there's like these ore detectors, and there's the actual nuclear reactor, and if you run up too close you got no gravity. But yeah, I thought this was a really kind of cool design. It just looks so, I don't know, it looks like some kind of futuristic high-tech facility. You just take a look at this and just like, whoa, what is that gonna do? So, like some kind of teleporter bay or something. It just kind of looks neat. At least I thought it did. I tried to make the lighting look kind of neat on some of these parts as such. These purple lights, ominous, kind of ominous there. Where is it? Ah, no, bonk. Up here. There we go. Yeah, up here. Yeah, right over on this little piece. Can I? Oh, it's not. Characters, tools. Yeah, there we go. Right here we have a spare reactor and battery facility for the AI. So just a little spare power plant for reasons. And yeah, that's pretty much this station. Oh, it's anchored into the asteroid. That's what these big long tendril things hooked up to the central shaft are. It's supposed to be an anchoring to help hold it onto the asteroid that it's attached to here. And it kind of looks neat when you get farther away. This looks like some kind of big ol' yeah, it just looks neat, I think. I really like this, how this solar array up here came out. It just looks like some kind of big ol' space ferry or something. Just big ol' wings just flailing out there. Yeah, that's pretty much it for that station. I might do something more with it in the future. We'll see. Maybe. Maybe. Maybe.
Your health is low.
Ouch. Okay, moving right along. No changes saved. Alright, so that was that. The other two are just basically modded versions. One was like a damaged version of the station, and the other one is a mod. I do have those like up on a up for download, Buried in Time station. And now for the actual, the thing I wanted to go immediately after my ships I mentioned earlier. I don't know why I got so caught up on all that. I just felt like I wanted to show it all off, so reasons. Okay, so here is my ship design shop. And this is where I guess the second episode will be picking up at in as soon as I close up this episode. And I just wanted to show off a few of my designs and play around, play designs with drones. I had a bit of fun with just trying to design really lightweight, small item, small equipment, low operation cost, low material cost, operation cost, you know, generally highly functional, low cost, agile drones. And I had like two earlier designs that I scrapped because they were kind of ugly and so bare minimum that they were just basically silly. But I've taken what I learned from those designs and I designed some improved versions of all three. I mean, of the two, and actually made it into three. This was the third drone I built. This is the fourth, and this one the fifth. The first two I scrapped. This is what I call the hunter drone. It's fairly lightweight, quick, functional, and generally kind of fun to play with a little bit. Just a second, oops! It's gonna bang. Gonna hit the deck. It's gonna hit the deck. Thunk. Okay, let's see here. Power on. It stops floating around. Yeah, it's prototype hunter drone. Let's jump over here and get in the control chair. Go over to our hunter. I fiddled with the information so it'd have its custom data. Now back to control. Okay, and I set the hotkeys on the bottom there so it's easy to manipulate and fly around. So yeah, it's actually fairly maneuverable. You can get around inside of a asteroid pretty easily, and it's got some pretty decent firepower, having two Gatling cannons. It doesn't have any missile launchers. I've kind of shied away from missile launchers in general for these units because the missile launchers to me are kind of overpowered as they are right now, because it only takes like one shot and then boom, target's dead, because all the especially well, I might be wrong now, because I remember some work was done on those. So I don't know, maybe it's not as deadly now as it was before. But yeah, these designs are built more to be just autocannons, and it has two built-in lights. It's so it can see in a dark environment better. It's got a pop and detonate explosive system. Hang on, I'm gonna go quickly toggle off that. Yeah, toggle that off real quick and then fly it over here so you can see it flying around. So yeah, Now, what I really like about the self-destruct system, the easy pop and activate system, it's relatively easy, but at the same time you have to hit 2 buttons in order to do it. You hit 3, and then watch this, 4. Boom! Nothing remains. What's more awesome is that the way it's set up, it's actually really hard to trigger that explosive from shooting the vehicle. It's actually positioned a block behind the remote device here, just behind there. It's can't, well, let's go ahead and copy another one and I'll just tear it open and show you. Also, you need to be turned on so you stop floating away, because that'll be annoying. Okay, now, like I was saying, if you just pop off like this little panel here, and that one there, and yeah, there we go. See, right in there, there's like the little green thing. Yeah, actually probably better if I just went it from underneath. Yeah, there we go. There is the remote explosive that you can trigger. Now, the reason why I built, actually all 3 of these have explosives in them, and I built them that way because I wanted to make it really hard to salvage these drones after, if you say, let's say the drone is like getting shot up and it's probably going to be lost, and you can't get it back to base safely, and you don't want the enemy to salvage it because reasons. So, self-destruct. Boom! Nothing remains. Pretty efficient, I'd say, in that regard. And yeah, this particular drone is fairly lightweight. It's got some decent armor, and it does its job pretty well. This one here is even lighter in terms of resources, and the only difference is that it still requires it has this sensor device here. I was trying to figure out a good placement for the antenna, and I ended up having to kind of compromise for the design a little bit, because there wasn't really a lot of room where I wanted to put it. In fact, this thing is just kind of awkward in general in its kind of appearance, but it's just as quick as this one, or a little bit quicker and more agile. It actually has an extra 2 side thrusters more than that one does, and it has 1 autocannon instead of 2. It's more meant as a sensory drone. It's more meant to fly out there and find things, and that's why I named it the Seeker. I'll just briefly pull it out here and fly it as well a little bit. Okay, let's power cores on. Okay, there we go. I'll just fly over here. Seeker control. Yep, there we go. So yeah, as you can see, it's actually got some relatively good handling and control. The auto guns on these have been set up so you can sort of see the light on the bottom there. I tried to point at the screen like an idiot. On the bottom there, you can see the lights from the weapons and systems, and it actually is not very intrusive on the visuals for the screen. The lights tend to be, typically for all of them, tend to be a little bit bright, so it's kind of unavoidable there. But you only need them when it's really dark anyway, and when it is dark, you're gonna want them. So, not that big a deal. And so yeah, this thing has like a very light amount of ammo. I've learned that this particular vehicle, to take it out, just flying around it and shooting it, it took me about 1,000 rounds just to get through and trigger the explosive inside. But if I just focused on it directly and shot it for a while, it would eventually pop in about 100 rounds. But it would have to be just sitting there, letting you shoot at the weak spot, at the general weak spot on the vehicle in order to do that. And so when you're flying around and dogfighting it, which is what it would normally be doing, it'd be great for that kind of thing. I was just thinking, well, it would be kind of neat if this is going off topic here, but I thought it'd be kind of neat if you could take this kind of drone and hook up a artificial AI kind of thing to it, and so you could just go hunt down players or something, and that'd be kind of neat. It's just... it'd be just kind of cool, I thought. And then I realized, you know how hard it would be for the developers to make an AI for this darn thing? Even as simple as this is, they'd have to... we're not just accounting for just the ship itself, in this case, this one ship. We're thinking about AIs in general for ships in Space Engineers. Every ship is unique in many regards, from one ship to the next, just off of the thrusters, the amount of handling it has, the weapons it has armor on it, and how accurate they are, the amount of time it takes to sort of just figure out how many blocks of armor it's got, what kind of defense systems it has. There's a lot of stuff that if you wanted to fly a ship well, and if you want an AI to do well at all with a ship, you'd have to design a pretty robust and reasonably well thought out AI design. And I suddenly realized that AIs would probably be very, very, very hard to program in this particular game, and that almost made me a little bit sad, actually, because I was really hoping for like AI fighters, or maybe at the very least something a little bit more interesting to fight in the game sometime soon, and it's probably not gonna come anytime soon, if at all. That said, it's not too big a deal, I guess. So, like the other one, this guy has its own self-destruct that, again, obliterates it completely with ease. I'll bring it up just so you can see it. Really lightweight drone. Up. So remember, these drones are meant to be exceptionally lightweight and cheap to build. That's kind of the reason for them. And then just pop, arm, boom, gone. Even this big one goes completely poof in an explosion if you use the self-destruct. I'm going to demonstrate its maneuverability, which is surprisingly good despite all the heavy armor it's made out of. Power core on. Yeah. Now, this thing is entirely made with heavy armor blocks and lots of thrusters and other internal components, but it has heavy armor entirely as its makeup. It has not a single light armor block in there. So, yeah, this guy was made to take a beating. Now, it also has 6 self-destruct devices, which means it is a little bit more susceptible to self-destructing if you manage to hit the self-destruct cores. But at the same time, the self-destructs are still reasonably well placed to limit the amount of possibility of them detonating prematurely. Besides, usually if they blow up anyway, it probably would have been a fairly damaged vehicle by that point anyway. So, moving right along, we're going to just pop over there and take a look at the Predator. Control! Also, this thing has crazy amounts of control. It's very squirrely on its turning and maneuverability for changing direction and keeping an aim on a target. And it has 4 autocannons instead of 2. So it's pretty dang good in that regard. It takes a little bit to get up to moving, but once you do get it up moving, it can actually move pretty quickly. And at least has some pretty decent mobility. So yeah. All of these are set up to they have a ammo arrangement as well, that I want to show you in a real quick here. Inside the containers here, as well as in the turrets themselves, you can see that there's these arrangements of like 16, 7, 8, 3 across the ammo containers. These are set to 3 times and realistic ammo storage. This is these realistic ammo storage. You only have 7 and 3, 7 and 7, a stack of 7, a stack of 3 in realistic ammo storage, which is like so small. So I probably never will actually use that. But whenever I consider to release this on a workshop, which I plan on doing so at some point, these particular drones, they're set up with this kind of ammo setup, so that if you put them into if you put them to use, they can be put into a realistic scenario, and they'll have a supply of uranium available that will last them probably well, short of a day really, but they'll last several hours. And it's not like a cheapish amount of like ridiculous amounts of uranium or ridiculous amounts of ammo. They have their maximum capacity worth of ammo for a realistic, and then they also have, on this part, is the remaining ammo that you can store in these containers while they're at 3 times capacity. And at 3 times capacity, they have enough ammo. You saw it had like 6,000 rounds. I found that taking out one of these particular drones right here, the Hunter drone, took me about 1,000 rounds or so to actually damage it in general pretty well. 1,000 rounds using that drone against itself. So I was thinking, well, if this thing has like 4 cannons, which means twice the amount of firepower output, and about 6,000 rounds between them all, and plus whatever else you got in there on 3 times, I think that this particular vehicle itself is really well equipped to wipe the field of enemy fighter craft. And this is pretty much what this particular drone is made to do. It's designed to take on reasonably larger foes than itself. Something like an actual piloted fighter. So this would be something that could take on an actual fighter of larger scale and do some significant damage, or at least that was the plan. And given the camera placement right there, as you can see, really kind of tucked in there behind all this armor plating and everything, it's far more protected than most fighter craft usually are. Admittedly, it won't see enemies shooting at it from behind, but well, you give and you take. It has its benefits, it has its disbenefits. I put these armor platings here because I felt that the thrusters here were not well protected enough, and I think it did make a nifty kind of design improvement overall and gave it kind of a unique shape in general. So across the board, yeah, I think these are some really good designs for units, and they are set up so that if you want to play in realistic, they have actually some ammo and fuel to keep them functional that is somewhat reasonable and doesn't have like ridiculously filled amounts. I mean, this one only has like 1 ingot per reactor, and it has 4 reactors, so that's 4 ingots. Okay, this one has only 3 reactors, if I recall. Right? Or does it even have... No, it has 3 reactors. And it only has 1 ingot per reactor, and about the same ammo storage capacity as all of them, between all of them. So I made these all basically workshop ready as they are, and I may release them sometime soon because they are finished designs at this point. I labeled them as prototypes, but well, they are prototypes, but they're basically the finished design that I wanted to put together. And now I guess the last one you might want to see is the explosion of the last prototype drone I built here, the Predator. Did I mention it was called the Predator? I don't recall if I did. But there you go. It's that's the Predator drone. Okay. So, yeah. You ready for it to blow up? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Boom! All of it gone. So yeah, I'm really well pleased with these 3 drones. Now here's the thing. I fired a missile at each of these, and if you hit this one with a missile, I don't think the explosive didn't go off, but there wasn't much left of the ship anyway. So you hit this thing with a missile, if you can manage it, it probably won't have much left to salvage anyway. You hit this one with a missile, the explosive goes off inside, and you still have nothing to salvage. Hit this one with a missile, same thing. So if you hit any of these with a missile, they'll die in one hit. But first you have to hit them, for one thing, and second, if you do manage to hit them, you're not going to have anything left to salvage. You spent a missile, you got one dead drone. So yeah, that was the thing I designed them for. I'm kind of planning on trying to design some more kind of drones here, because I really liked how these came out, and they all look really kind of neat in their own way. I want to try making one that has a more up and down top and bottom extension instead of a sideways extension. But yeah, I really did like how these drones came out, and I'm actually liking playing with drone designs more than I do with the typical piloted designs that I usually play with. So I might do some more of that, and maybe I'll do it live on camera. just maybe 1 or 2 episodes of that, and see if anyone cares. If they like me doing live designing, I can demonstrate my designs on these pads, and we can see how they turn out. But for now, that's the end of this episode, which has gone on for probably like, what, an hour? This is gonna be one long dang episode. It's a dang long episode. Okay. Episode. So yeah. That's it for this episode, guys. I'll catch you next time. See you later. I'll be recording.